Imagine
everyone.
the final moments
Welcome
of someone
to
loved by millions.
24H, your
A
go-to
life
channel
cut
for
short
the
in
latest
circumstances
news,
so
hottest
mysterious
dramas,
that the world
breaking
still struggles to understand.
and all the buzz from the
Tonight,
world of entertainment.
actress Xing has
We're
broken
here to
her
keep
silence,
you updated and what she
entertained,
revealed about
and always in
Menglong's
the loop.
last terrifying
Hit that
hours
subscribe
has shaken
button and
fans
join our
across
growing
the globe.
family. This
Because
is not
here
just
at
another
Update
story.
X24H,
This is the
we bring
shocking
you the
truth
news
that
you've been
matters,
waiting
the
for.
drama you love,
When the first
and the
reports
stories
of
you can't
Menglong's
miss.
sudden and
Thanks
tragic
for being
death
part
began
of our
to spread,
community.
the entire
Let's stay
entertainment
connected,
world
stay
seemed to
updated,
stand
and
still.
keep the good vibes
The news
rolling.
traveled faster than anyone could process, leaping from one platform to another and leaving fans in disbelief. Yet amid the countless rumors, speculation, and frantic attempts to make sense of the loss, there was always a haunting silence. People wanted answers, but the truth remained just out of reach. It was in this silence that Xing finally stepped forward, not as an actress on screen but as a friend who had witnessed a different side of you, one that the world rarely saw. Her decision to speak was not driven by headlines or the pressure of the media storm, but by the weight of memory and the need to honor someone she had cared about deeply. In her heartfelt account, Xing described the final days leading up to Yu's passing as moments shadowed by an unspoken heaviness. Fans had seen his bright smile and flawless image, but she remembered the pauses in his voice, the subtle weariness in his expression, and the quiet that seemed to linger when the lights went out and the cameras stopped rolling. She revealed how, in their last exchange, his words carried an unfamiliar tone, as though he were reaching out in ways he could not openly express. To her, it felt as though he was caught between the expectations of his career and the fragile reality of his inner struggles. What made her testimony powerful was not just the details, but the emotion behind them. It was a reminder that beyond the stage, Menglong was not simply a star adored by millions, but a human being navigating battles invisible to most. Xing words cut through the noise of speculation because they came from a place of intimacy and truth. She gave voice to the pain he carried in silence, painting a picture of a man who was more vulnerable, more human, than the world had ever known. In doing so, she not only reshaped the public's understanding of his final days, but also opened a conversation about compassion, empathy, and the unseen weight that often hides behind a brilliant smile. Her revelation was not just about the loss of a beloved figure. It was about recognizing the depth of his humanity and ensuring that his story would not be reduced to rumors, but remembered with dignity and understanding. When Xing finally gathered the courage to speak about Menglong's final days, her words carried a weight that went far beyond the usual interviews and public statements that surround celebrity tragedies. She did not speak as a performer sharing a story for publicity, but as a woman holding on to fragments of memory that now felt unbearably precious. In her account, she peeled back the polished image that fans knew so well and revealed a side of you that was vulnerable, quiet, and achingly human. She recalled how, during their last conversation, his voice seemed different, lower, hesitant, carrying an unfamiliar heaviness that unsettled her. It was not the confident, charismatic you that the public adored, but someone who seemed burdened by shadows he could not name. Xing admitted with visible regret that she had sensed something was wrong but had not pressed further, a hesitation that now haunted her in ways words could barely express. She described moments that, at the time, had seemed small but in retrospect carried a chilling significance. The way he would pause before answering questions, the way his laughter did not quite reach his eyes, the way he seemed to be fighting to keep up the facade of ease and charm. What she revealed was not a single dramatic confession but a tapestry of quiet signals, each one hinting at the silent storm you was enduring. To her, it felt as if he had been trying to communicate his pain indirectly, leaving traces in his tone, his gestures, his silences, for those closest to him to notice. The most striking detail came when Xing shared that you had spoken about pressures he felt cornered by, pressures that came not from one person, but from an entire system that demanded perfection at any cost. He had hinted at sleepless nights, at conversations that left him drained, at the invisible weight that fame placed on his shoulders. Hearing this from her, fans were confronted with the reality that their beloved star had been living under unbearable strain, and that his final hours were not simply a matter of circumstance, but the culmination of battles fought in silence. Through her testimony, Xing transformed the narrative. What had been a mystery clouded by rumors became a human story of fragility, endurance, and unspoken suffering. Her words not only honored Yu's memory, but also invited the world to see him not as an untouchable figure, but as a man who longed for understanding in the moments before his tragic end. Xing Fei's revelation did more than confirm suspicions. It humanized Yu Menglong. Fans who had admired his charm now felt the heartbreak of a man struggling in silence. Across social media, thousands wrote messages not just of grief but of regret. If only we knew. If only someone had helped sooner. Some saw it as a wake-up call about the hidden battles celebrities fight. Others argued it was proof that Yu's death was not just an accident, but a story that demanded answers. The response was immediate and global. In Seoul, Tokyo, Paris, and Los Angeles, fans lit candles and organized vigils, creating a wave of unity across borders. Hashtags like #Justice for Yu Menglong and #RememberYou trended once more, echoing around the world. But beyond sorrow, Xing Fei's words sparked something else: reflection. People began asking, how often do we ignore the silent struggles of those who seem to have it all? How many more Yu Menglongs are suffering behind closed doors? Psychologists have since pointed out that what Xing Fei described, the fatigue, the emotional distance, the quiet signals, are often the hidden red flags of someone under extreme pressure. For the first time, the tragedy of Yu Menglong isn't just being seen as a mystery, but as a lesson in empathy. Industry insiders even called for reform, better protection for young stars, more open conversations about mental health, and stricter investigations into the pressures placed on artists. Xing Fei's courage to speak out may have opened the door for change. So what do we take from this? That behind the glamour of fame, there are fragile human beings carrying burdens we rarely see. Xing Fei's heartbreaking testimony reminds us that Yu Menglong's final moments must not be forgotten, not just as a tragedy, but as a call for compassion, for truth, and for justice. And maybe, just maybe, his legacy will be more than his films and performances. Maybe it will be the inspiration to look closer, to listen more, and to care deeply for the people around us. Thank you for watching Update X24H. If this story touched you, please hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it so Yu Menglong's voice continues to be heard. We'll keep bringing you the stories that matter, stories that reveal truth, spark emotion, and remind us of our shared humanity. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next update.